He never expected life to change, not for someone like him. But that night, when he held a single movie ticket in his calloused hand, something inside him whispered that fate was waiting just around the corner. It was strange. A feeling he couldn't ignore. As he stood under the flickering cinema lights with his little daughter clutching his shirt, people rushed past them, laughing, talking, living lives far bigger and brighter than his. Yet his heart beat with a quiet hope, as if the universe was preparing to give him back something it had stolen long ago. Armin was a single dad. 29 years old, exhausted beyond words and yet smiling for his daughter. Noor, her hair was tied in two uneven ponytails, and her oversized pink sweater slipped off one shoulder. But she looked at the world with those glowing eyes that made him forget every hardship. 2 years ago, he lost his wife to a sudden illness, and since then life had been a constant storm bills, double shifts, loneliness, and the fear of failing the only person he had left. Tonight wasn't a luxury. It was a promise he had made weeks ago. Noor wanted to watch a new animated movie, but Armin could afford only one ticket. So he told her they would watch it together from the stairs inside, far from the seats. They had done it before. Nobody noticed a poor father and his child quietly sitting on the side. But as they entered the theater, Armin felt people staring. Maybe it was the torn edge of his jacket or the cheap sandals Noor wore even in cold weather. He tried to hide the ticket quickly, but the usher blocked his way. Seat number? The usher asked, We'll sit near the wall. She's small, she'll be fine. Sir, rules are rules. Armin swallowed the lump in his throat. Explaining poverty always felt humiliating. He didn't want Noor to hear a dot just then. A commotion began near the ticket counter. A woman stylish, confident, expensive argued with the manager. She looked like someone straight out of a business magazine. The crowd whispered her name, Zara Murtaza, owner of multiple companies, a woman whose interviews trended online every other week. Armin didn't care for celebrities, but Noor's eyes sparkled as if she recognized a fairy tale character. Zara suddenly looked directly at them. Her gaze softened when she saw Noor holding Armin's hand. She walked toward them, heels clicking sharply on the marble floor. Why aren't you seated yet? She asked gently. Armin stiffened. We're fine, just figuring it out. But children have no filters. Noor lifted the ticket. We only have one. Baba says we can share. Armin closed his eyes for a second, humiliated and helpless. Something shifted in Zara's face, almost like a memory resurfacing. She knelt to Noor's height and smiled. One ticket is not enough for such a brave princess, is it? Before Armin could protest, Zara straightened and told the usher, give them the best 2 seats. Armin stepped back. No, please. We don't take charity. Zara looked at him calmly. This isn't charity. Consider it a gift I owe the universe. There was something in her tone, broken, personal, vulnerable. They entered the theater together. The hall glowed softly, and for the first time in years, Armin felt like life wasn't mocking him. Zara sat beside them, unexpectedly watching the movie too. Noor laughed loudly during funny scenes, and every time she did, Zara's eyes glistened as if Noor's joy touched something inside her. Halfway through the movie, Zara whispered, You're doing well. She's happy. Armin didn't know how to reply. Compliments weren't things he received often. After the movie, Zara insisted on dropping them home. They tried refusing, but she smiled stubbornly. When they reached the small, dimly lit neighborhood, Zara's expression changed. She stepped out of the car, knelt beside Noor again, and said softly, Thank you for today. I had forgotten what happiness sounds like. Until you laughed. Armin watched her confusion, her conflict, her sudden emotional shift. Then she stood, turned to him, and said words that shook him to the core. Armin, you don't know me, but someone in your house knows me. And I tonight came to return something that belonged to you. Before he could ask what she meant, Noor called out from behind him, Baba, someone's in the house. Armin froze. Zara's eyes filled with a strange mix of fear and hope. Whatever miracle was about to happen. It was waiting behind that broken wooden door. Armin rushed forward, heart pounding, shielding Noor behind him as he pushed the door open. The house was dark except for the soft glow of the small lamp near the kitchen. And standing in that light was a woman, thin, pale, trembling, holding a small suitcase. Armin's breath caught in his throat. It was his sister Sana, whom he hadn't seen in months. She had disappeared without a goodbye after falling into a disastrous marriage. He had searched for her, prayed for her, begged for one call, one sign of life, but nothing ever came. Now she stood in front of him, broken yet breathing. When Noor saw her, she gasped. Fopo? Sana burst into tears, dropping to her knees as Noor hugged her tightly. Armin looked at Zara with shock. You brought her? Zara nodded softly. I didn't know she was your sister at first. She works in one of my branches. Yesterday she fainted during a meeting. When she woke up, she kept whispering your name. Armin's eyes filled. He hadn't cried in years, not even when life crushed him in ways he couldn't describe. Zara continued. She told me everything. The abuse she suffered. The escape. The months she spent hiding. The guilt she carried for leaving you alone with Noor. Sana sobbed harder, covering her face. I didn't want to burden you. You already lost too much. Armin gently helped her stand. Your family. You're never a burden. Zara watched quietly, her own eyes glimmering. She wasn't a powerful CEO in that moment, just a woman witnessing a family finding its missing piece. After Sana settled, Zara asked Armin to talk outside. The night was cold, but something warm stirred between them. She spoke carefully. There's something else you should know. Today wasn't an accident. Armin frowned. What do you mean? I went to the cinema tonight searching for peace. I didn't expect to find a story that reminded me of everything I'd forgotten. Your daughter, your strength, your honesty. You don't even realize how rare that is. Armin looked away. Compliments still felt too heavy to hold. Zara took a slow breath. I want to help, not because you're poor, not because you need charity, but because your kindness toward your daughter. It reminded me of my father. He raised me alone too. Everything I am today is because of him. Armin said nothing, but his silence wasn't rejection. It was overwhelmed gratitude. Then Zara added softly, and your sister, she needs protection. A job, a new start. Let me handle that. Armin's throat tightened. I don't know how to repay. You already did, Zara interrupted gently. When Noor laughed and I remembered how it feels to be human. Before they could speak further, Sana called them inside. Noor was fast asleep in her lap. The house felt warmer than it had in years. As Zara prepared to leave, Sana suddenly said, Armin, tell her. Armin frowned. Tell her what? Sana smiled weakly. Your wish. The one you made every night. Embarrassed, he looked at Zara. It's silly. But Noor always asked why we never go anywhere fun. So tonight, buying that single ticket, it felt like buying a little piece of happiness. Just one. Zara stepped closer, her voice soft yet firm. Armin, next time, you won't buy just one ticket. He looked at her, confused. She smiled. Because I'll be coming with you. The words struck his heart like a miracle. A single ticket turned into two. Lonely home turned into family again. A broken father found hope. A powerful CEO found something money could never buy. And that night, as the wind whispered through their broken windows, Armin realized something. He didn't bring home a ticket, he brought home a miracle.